All right, welcome into episode number 30 of the Hooley Brothers podcast. Another week delay for us. Apologies. Uh, as we're getting towards the end of COVID, there's been a few more things popping up here, so um, haven't quite been able to. I mean, the good thing is that the sports calendar was a little empty. I'd say, Mike. We're starting to get into the thick of it now, but hopefully we'll get some more sort of regularity here. But we're back after about a week layoff.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like not too much happened. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
like still regular season for NBA, NHL. Just get into May baseball, and there was no like horse race or good golf tournament over the weekend. To,
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, we'll get to some horses later on in the program here, but yeah, I mean, obviously, probably could have made Saturday work. We had some plans that were there, weren't there, and then obviously Mother's Day on Sunday. We weren't going to spend the day podcasting. Obviously, went and saw our mom, spent some time at home. So here we are joining everyone on a Tuesday night, and again, we're starting to get to the end of things, as Mike said, with both NBA and NHL as we gear up for the playoffs. So I think we're going to start there. And really big news coming yesterday. I'm partially just exhausted, but I was ready to get on here and rip the Celtics again. But obviously, news coming yesterday: Jaylen Brown with his wrist, he's going to be out for the year. I'm not even going to rant. It's just this season's over. That's all I can say. We're on to 2021-22. Um, also that's getting in my head so much. 2021-20, like saying that it's throwing me for a loop every time. But anyway, um, yeah, I don't know. Another terrible loss on Friday to the Bulls. They obviously lose Sunday to the Heat, and they're playing them now. Last time I checked, it was about a 2-point game, but I'm mainly focused on the Sox right now. But really, just a disappointing season. Just we kind of get the icing on the cake here.
yeah, like I said, I was pretty much already done. Like you talked about the schedule coming up, where it was like Magic Bulls and then like make or break games against the Heat. And I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
we already lost to the Bulls this year, so we don't get shocked they lost them again. I mean, I don't think we're bad enough to lose to the
They
Magic.
didn't just lose to the Bulls.
I was gonna say, thankfully, we're not bad enough to lose to the Magic. Then I'd be really, really concerned about like everything. Not that I already
Mm-hmm.
are, I'm not, but I would be even more. But I was like, I already had a bad feeling with the Bulls game, and it was worse than I thought. They ended up losing by 20.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
at that point, like I didn't get my like I didn't watch a second of that game. I didn't get too like into it. Like I said, I thought they were gonna lose going in, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like I didn't want to waste my time with it, and
Yeah, yeah.
I just didn't really care about the game on Sunday, like national TV game.
No,
Could be like on the verge of making the plan, and I would rather go outside and enjoy a nice day with my mom or what we
if anything, throw the socks
we
on.
watched the first couple of games of the Red Sox before like she was ready to hang
Yeah.
out. So like I'm just done. I was done with this team weeks ago, and I feel bad for Jalen, like especially because he got hurt with a minute left in the Thunder game, a game he should have been up
Mm-hmm.
by 20 about. He should have been on the floor. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they've just been god awful on the stretch here. Currently sitting in the seventh spot in the playoffs in that play-in tournament. We were joking the other day. It's like I hate the play-in tournament, and it's not because my team's in seventh place. I wish they could just miss the playoffs altogether at this point. Have a slight chance at some lottery luck, but I just don't think they deserve to be in at all. So that's not even it. Why I hate the play-in tournament. I've said it several times. But yeah, again, the Jalen injury really just seals the deal. Again, we're on to next year, and they've pretty much solidified themselves. You're barring any sort of miraculous, you know, Tatum and Walker led run here. You have to say that they are probably the most disappointing team in the NBA this year.
yeah, because even like I was talking like the verbal me of Alonzo morning like head gift like the Lakers also being in seventh place, but like they're at least kind of like they've been missing a lot of Davis and a lot of James all year, and it seems like they're kind of ramping up now. Like
Also, they won last year, so like that buys you some time, I think.
and even like a Davis led Lakers were able to beat the Suns, one of the best teams in the league this year. So it's like, yeah, they
Yeah,
might end up there, but like it doesn't matter. Like they're going to be probably the favorite in the West regardless. So
yeah, and we'll get to the West a little bit later on here, but yeah, I mean, like I said, Celtics are I'd say the most disappointing. The only other team that's even was even in remotely in the spot last year that's worse than them is Toronto. But I think Toronto kind of exceeded expectations a year ago. So, but still, I say missing the playoffs altogether obviously isn't great for them. But I think the Celtics just with the expectations were the much bigger disappointment this year. And where do we go from here? I don't know. I'm not saying we should get rid of anyone. Did you see that poll question the other day though? I
What was
forget
it?
who posted it. It's if one person had to go from the Celtics this year, like had to go, and I'm pretty much gonna say it has. I'm not even gonna really. I'm gonna say the last two, but I'm not even gonna remotely involve them. But it was Ainge, Stevens, Brown, and Tatum. One has to go.
Ainge.
I'm gonna disagree. I think Stevens. I don't think Ainge has done it. Like I think I don't know. And like I said, I don't think anyone should go. I mean, it's tough, and so you can. There's a lot of crap in that league that you can kind of you can find yourself a bad executive or a bad coach for a long time. So if someone's not truly bad, and I get it, Ainge has been here longer, and I certainly see the argument that way. It's just again, he drafted Tatum, he drafted Brown. He's making kind of the moves that he can. I think he did fumble the Hayward situation. That's one thing I'll really hold him accountable for. I mean, we got the TPE, and who knows what's going to long term happen with that, but. I don't know. It just seems like this we have the talent here, and they're not winning. So like that's where I kind of lean more Stevens versus Ainge.
Yeah, I think it's more just like it's easier for a guy like him to be like a PR spin being like, oh, just walking away. He's been here for 20 years. He wants to spend more time with his family and health, whatever.
Yeah.
And like maybe okay, like Stevens, okay, you're also going to be the GM-ish, like kind of like a Bill role. Like it's like okay, you want the keys, you want your big
promotion.
I feel like he's complaining about like not having enough size lately. It's okay if you're going to complain. Ainge is out. This is all on you.
Right.
You have like the rest of these contracts for Brown and Tatum to do something, or you're out of a job.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. Like I said, I think it's a little early to pull the plug on anyone for a bad season, but I think either one of them, yeah, like the seat's getting a little warm under there. So I'd certainly keep in just again, it has to get much better next year. What that is with free agency trades, draft, I don't know, but it's got to get better. But yeah, right now they're destined for the play-in tournament. Honestly, if they play Charlotte in one game, I have no real confidence in winning that game. Not that this is, I mean, at the end of the day, you're probably again looking at a best case scenario of losing to Philly or Brooklyn, even if you win one of those two games, whether the first one or if you lose and then are able to beat either Washington or Indiana, if that's how it kind of shapes up. So I think that's you're just lining up to get smacked around by one of those two teams.
Yeah, at this point, like I said, like even just as an NBA fan, I feel like the Hornets and Wizards would be far better. Like just like that's like how well Russ is doing lately, and just like the fact like oh, let's get like LaMelo like a quick like 4-game like showcase. Maybe he can steal one by himself. So
yeah, no, I definitely Washington's entertaining. What you said, like you said, Russ is taking off, and I know in there we'll kind of as we transition here. I mean, Russ obviously taking the triple double crown as I'm watching the Sox game here. Rafi just hit one of the monster to make it a 3-2 game. So quick sidebar update there. But yeah, Russ just, I mean, before I get to that, I'll say the one silver lining for the Celtics is that I think we will get some more Aaron Nesmith minutes in these last couple of games here, and maybe in this play-in tournament if you get into the first round. See what this kid's got. He was again your number 14 pick from a year ago. It's been obviously a much stronger year for Peyton Pritchard. You kind of are getting an idea of what you have with him, but Nesmith's shown it in flashes. Then he's not played for a number of games, but now with another wing spot opening up, we'll get to see a little bit more of what Nesmith has going into next year.
Yeah, I know that's free him up, and it's even like is Langford healthy?
Yeah, I mean I don't know, maybe.
As I guess just him, like it's more of the same of just like just let them play and just see what happens. And
yeah,
hopefully, like you said, like if Nesmith shows he can shoot and have like the defensive intensity, maybe it makes something like Smart more expendable. If like that's like what you want to do, because this is last year coming up, right?
Smart on the deal.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think because it was a 4-year deal. I think it is. But yeah, so again, that's just kind of what we have for the Celtics. Not much left to be desired. We'll see how they do in this play-in tournament, one way or another. I think the bet again. What did you say?
I just want them to lose.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's not even just. It's just like I don't need to see them lose 4 times in a row to Philly or Brooklyn. But yeah, like you said, more entertainment out of a young Charlotte team, and then again, kind of a transition into the East as a whole. Got to give a huge shout out to Russell Westbrook. He's on a tear these last few weeks, and I don't know. I feel like years ago, even you just saw this triple double record. It's like, oh yeah, Russ puts up numbers, but there's no way he's ever going to catch Oscar. And then last night, that's exactly what he does. He puts up, and these aren't like 15, 10, and 10 every night. He puts up 15 rebounds some games, 20 assists, just insane numbers. And I don't know if there's been a more underappreciated guy than Russ over the and I get certain things. The shooting's there. He might have, especially with Durant. He's taking too many shots versus Durant, that whole thing. But I mean, we're truly in the middle of a great career here, and obviously a Hall of Fame career. Someone who we saw how high Oscar's number is. Now his number is going to get even higher than that. And will anyone ever catch him? And Russ is just, I don't know. He's doing insane things now, especially this year in Washington, where people thought it was kind of a throwaway year.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like I've always been giving him too much crap. Like, oh, like he's just filling the stat sheet because no one's better around him. And like, even when he has good people around him, he thought he was too good with like the Durant team, like taking up majority of the shots. But you just gotta give credit where credit's due. I mean, between this year and his MVP season, like he's just doing all he can. And like the fact that like it's easy to say like, oh, he's just like filling the stat sheet, but okay, you'll go out there and grab 10 rebounds and
But yeah, that's the thing. It's not like he's just throwing it off the backboard he's not putting Ricky Davis missing a layup just so he can get his own rebound and like
guys in his team like box out and let it hit the floor. He's clearly crashing the glass here.
Oh yeah, like you see him, he's running from the top of the key, like jumping, like yeah, it's I don't know, like that's such a BS like term, just like stat padding. It's like, well, what? Yeah, it's not like he's out there in like a 40-point blowout, just like playing against a bunch of like schmucks doing these things. Like, yeah, he's crashing, and like I said, it's not like he's like, oh, I have 9 rebounds, let me miss this shot on purpose, and like he's putting up well over these numbers. So yeah, huge shout out to Russ.
I know it's like only like an 11-day sample size, but like it's like month of May, he's like averaging over like 27, like 17 and 12 or something like that.
Yeah, he was like into the mid-teens for rebounds and assists. So yeah, I've always been a Russ guy, and happy he's kind of getting some shine now. I just wish the Wizards started a little stronger so that they'd be more firmly into this thing. It does look like they'll end up in the play-in tournament, but right now they're kind of fighting for 9 and 10 either way. I guess it doesn't really matter. You're just hosting that game.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's pretty much going to be Celtics, Hornets, and Wizards, Pacers. I had the standings up earlier. It seems like that's where the biggest gap is, though, between 8 and 9. So
yeah, it's that's the thing. That is the one thing you said you hate the play-in because you want your team just to miss the playoff entirely. Well, this is actually giving us a chance.
Yeah, no, you're right. I know. Yeah, it's a good point. But yeah, because I guess they'd be pretty firmly in 7 right now. But yeah, I guess that's a good point there. But kind of just looking at the rest of the standings as a whole, again, we're getting into the final few days here. Season ends on Sunday. I don't know if you saw this. I've been following kind of Shams throughout this whole thing. It seems like they were going to all play between 12 and 3:30, but then they decided not to do that.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I assumed that. I didn't know they changed that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I saw something weird today about it. Like, I don't know if it was like a health and safety type thing or what, but
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know if you have people playing on what day or whatever, but anyway, but yeah, so either way, Philly looks like they have the 1 seed locked up. They have a few games on Brooklyn. I think it's a 3-game lead now with. So I think unless some scenario where they lose out and Brooklyn wins out, they are gonna get the 1 seed. And I think as a Celtics fan, we've beaten up on Philly the last few years, whether it be the playoffs or regular season. But I mean, they've come out this year that you really can't say anything else. Embiid and Simmons obviously leading the way there. Embiid, a top probably 2, maybe 3 MVP candidate this year. And all the talk's been over Brooklyn, but they've held on to that 1 seed. So if it ends up being chalk, they're going to be able to host it. And by that point, I'm going to think we're going to have fans in the stands. So obviously Brooklyn's just trying to get there and then win the tournament. But shout out to Philly for getting home court pretty much locked up at this point.
Yeah, they definitely have taken care of the business, even if I think it wasn't as long as some of these other teams. Like Harden's been out for a while, and of course, like I said, I was with the Lakers, but they did a pretty good job when Embiid had missed a couple weeks there. And I think there's been some times where they've had play without Embiid and Simmons, and they still kind of tread the water. And then once they had a
Mhm.
full lineup, they've done amazing. So shout out to Doc for turning around too.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, I think
And Maury,
depending on how you what's that?
and Maury.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, depending on how you yeah, Daryl Morey, I forgot. Depending on how you look at it, I think a lot of people think that Doc is kind of a maybe an overrated coach or doesn't get the job done, but I think he's really good at elevating a team. You know, he might not maybe win the whole thing, but he gets the best out of a team sometimes. I think it's almost I don't know, but then it's like when the expectations get too high, like maybe that's when then things don't quite work out. But again, you took a team that was they kind of had the talent there, but they needed to just put it all together, and that's something they've obviously done to this point this year. To put them in again the one seed as it stands now, and looks like that's where they'll end up. Brooklyn, Mike, I think we were talking a little bit last week about this stat that I found interesting. They have a, or at least up until the weekend, they have a losing record with James Harden not playing, which seems insane to me.
Most important player.
It just like it seemed like I mean you're thinking say that trade never goes down, James Harden's happy in Houston. I'm sure it doesn't break out this way, but I mean you thought Kyrie and Durant were already a very powerful duo on their own. But again, in games that Harden doesn't play, and I know a lot of those, one of those two, or maybe both of them were out as well. A little surprising to think that they have a losing record, not just obviously a worse record, but an actual losing record without James Harden in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a very misleading stat because, like you said, I feel like Durant has missed a lot of time, and Kyrie was
Yeah,
off the reservation for a little bit. So
fair. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I expect them to almost we talk about flipping the switch. That's a team I fully expect to flip the switch come playoff time, get everyone healthy, get everyone locked in. Yeah, I'd be stunned if they're not. I mean, that's one thing with 2-3, and we are the two versus the one seed is that I think you face a much tougher Milwaukee team now in round two, as they've kind of just been locked into the three seed pretty much since what, like December, like when the season started,
I
like
mean,
they've just been locked in at three.
I think I saw that like they were getting close to passing them.
Who's that?
The Bucks.
The Nets.
Yeah, they're only a game behind them now.
Okay, all right.
Well, they did play a lot. The Bucks had like a home and home or like a 2-game home stand against
Mhm.
the Nets, and they took both the games. So
Yeah. I think that's I've just been programmed maybe in my brain. I'm like, oh, Philly, Brooklyn are 1-2. Has anyone in
well,
the
it was
four
just
seed caught up to Milwaukee? Nope, they
yeah,
haven't.
like
So I just
the Bucks have
assumed
played
they're
some good
three.
basketball. Yeah, I think they even got it to a tie because it's Brooklyn's won the last one, and the Bucks kind of got spanked by the Spurs last night. But before that, they were 7-2 in their last 10 before losing last night. So the Bucks played some
Mhm.
good basketball. They're probably the most intriguing team in my mind. You can't forget about them because they've just been, like you said, just coasting
Yeah,
three seed. But they were like playing some really good basketball for the COVID shutdown. They just didn't really recover. So I'm excited, intrigued to see how that core because it hasn't really changed much except
yeah,
the upgrade from Bledsoe to Holiday. So that should be a team.
yeah. No, that's a good point, Mike. I think I don't know if it's just because I mean he's still been putting up insane numbers, but just like the hype around Giannis kind of died down. I feel like a little after his back-to-back MVPs, and maybe because Milwaukee isn't putting up these insane stat lines. Maybe this is the kind of season they needed. I mean,
Mhm.
where the focus isn't on you all year. Like you're going like 56-10, and then like trying to like finish the season, get to the playoffs. They've just had a steady, modest, good record all season. Like I said, sitting at the 3 seed now. We even have a shot at that 2 seed, which again, I think just two things for you. One, you get to play a play-in game like winner in the first game, which seems weaker than maybe Miami or one of the other teams right now. And then two, if you and the 2 and 3 seeds both win, you obviously have home court in that second round series. So again, right, we're starting to get fans back in arenas. I think that's huge, obviously. So they do have a shot to try to hop over Brooklyn there. So we'll watch the 2-3 race there as well. And then also like an interesting race happening between 4, 5, and 6. I think it was all like for a while I thought kind of Miami would solidify themselves as a 6, but only one game separating New York, Atlanta, and Miami right now for 4, 5, 6. We have the Knicks and Lakers tonight. Heat are playing the Celtics, and then the Hawks are off. And the Hawks had one game on both teams. So after tonight, all teams will have just 3 games left.
Yeah, I think the Hawks did a pretty solid W last night. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really going to come down to that Knicks. I would like to see the Knicks to hold on to that 4 seed just for the story, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess like the whole race for the Southeast Division crown will be pretty intriguing.
Yeah, because right now Heat are beating the Celtics, of course, at the end of 3. 93-79, and the Knicks Lakers will play tonight at 10. So we'll have kind of a better idea about what that picture is once we get into get those final scores. But yeah, I think it's interesting. We could see a lot of shakeup between 4, 5, and 6 there. Miami making that late push almost like they did last year. Or again, speaking of flipping the switch, are they a team that can kind of do the same thing with Butler and the guys down there? So a lot of intrigue in the middle of the standings here between the Milwaukee Brooklyn race for 2-3, and then the 4-5-6 matchups as well. So things are starting to take form in the East, but I think a lot can play out in these final, I guess including tonight, what five or six nights here. So we'll obviously keep an eye on that. We mentioned the play-in seems pretty set with those 4 teams, just kind of trying to figure out the order there. And then if we hop out west, Mike, and I know, so this is almost like, again, fragmented as well as far as what the races are. The top 2 seems, again, that's pretty clear cut between Utah and Phoenix. Utah getting a bit of an edge here, a game and a half up on the Suns for the 1 seed. So it looks like, and I was looking at the schedules too, the Jazz don't have a lot of tough games. I think Phoenix might have to like run the table, and the Jazz will have to slip up here to kind of hop them there. And even then, I don't know how the tiebreaker works, but looks like we might end up, after all this, still having Utah finish 1 and Phoenix going for the 2 seed here.
Yeah, which could be pretty chaotic in the Western Conference, because seems like if you started the year and you said like a 2-7 of Lakers Suns, you'd be like, oh, good job, son. Look at that 7 seed.
I know, and that's something I do want to get to here. And then the other race for the 3 seed, Clips are up a game on Denver right now, again, who's still playing good basketball despite Jamal Murray being out for the year with his injury. So a bit of a back and forth. So kind of 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 as well. Now I'm going to kind of go in reverse order. The Spurs seem pretty locked in on that 10 seed being the final play-in team. Golden State and Memphis, they seem like they're going to end up in 8-9. Who's going to host that game? That still seems to be what's getting determined there, which leaves the middle, the 5, 6, 7. We have Dallas.
Remember,
what's that?
8-9 is not a game.
Oh my God, Mike, I keep doing it. It's driving me crazy. I had it right all Eastern Conference, and then now I screw up. It's just because the standings are down this way. All right. So 8-9, even more of a good matchup, because you're not hosting a game, but it's, do you want to get into the winner game where you could technically lose, or the straight up elimination game? So it's Golden State 8, Memphis 9 for now, but again, very, very tight. We'll see how they shape up. Thank you, Mike, for that call out. And then Dallas, Portland, and the Lakers shooting for those final 2 automatic first round bids for 5, 6, and then the loser obviously ending up in the 7th spot. Right now, that is the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers, who are slotted in the 7th spot right now.
Yeah, I think that's the methodology I want to see there, because like they're probably going to win. They're going to kind of crush that first game, but I think just having the Lakers as 7 and Warriors 8 against pretty like out of nowhere teams in Utah and Phoenix would be very, very.
No, I did want to get to that, because first off, I mean, I don't even know who has the rights to this thing, if it's ESPN or TNT, but I mean, imagine a 7-8 game of Warriors Lakers. That's a big money maker, which only means that this thing's going to continue probably going forward, because we got a really good matchup in one of these games. You have Steph versus the Lakers. But you mentioned there, Mike, say it does end up this way, if the standings hold pretty true. Lakers beat the Warriors, say Memphis beats the Spurs, and then Golden State wins. You could potentially see, I mean, more so with the 7-2. I mean, I think, the Warriors beating the Jazz would be a little bit more crazy, but if there was ever a year for it.
I'm pretty sure they played last night, and it was in Golden State. Of course, that helps, but I think a lot of people watching were like, you really think Steph's going to lose to this Jazz team?
The only thing I'll say, Mike, is if it was win or go home, or maybe even a best 2 out of 3, maybe. But I think the fact that you're going 7 games here, I think usually in those, the better team usually does win out. But I wouldn't be shocked. It's crazy. Well, we could have a year where we see lower seeds like that both win.
Yeah, and even I forgot to say this an hour ago, Mitchell's out for the rest of the regular season with an ankle.
Okay.
He reevaluated for the playoffs. I mean, the way that I just got that like notification and it wasn't like all over the place, seems like it might just be a very precautionary move. But even if he's in there, he's gonna have a little something.
Yeah.
And he's probably their best like facilitate. I mean, they do have Mike Conley facilitating. I mean, like the guy that can create his own shot for that way.
Yeah, no, it's very intriguing. It would be a very interesting matchup, and yeah, I don't know. The only part of me that I kind of want the Lakers to get it because I do love the Suns, and I'm like, they don't deserve this. They don't deserve to lose in the first round after this amazing season just because the Lakers had a weird year. I'd almost rather have them play Dallas somehow. I mean, I think they could beat Dallas. Portland, I also love, so I also wouldn't want that matchup. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, right now it's sitting as the Lakers.
I guess that's the thing, 'cause I feel like if Portland falls to the 7, I might root for them to fall out.
To
It's like Memphis.
like to fall. Yeah, I'm.
It's because like we've seen Portland in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Their peak
I
was
know, but
2 years ago getting the conference finals.
I guess yeah. I don't know.
So like, let's see what now that Jaren Jackson's back. I don't know. Maybe they at least like
No,
could
I
pull
still
it.
love the Blazers, man. I don't know.
No, me too. I mean, Dane and TJ.
It doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like it.
I mean, I was listening to another podcast. It was the "I'm Not Here to Argue" one, and I was like,
Okay.
the same question happened, and then he was like, "You seen the song and dance before?" And he like put another light on me. I'm like, "Yeah, don't hate that take." So I want to sprinkle it across here.
I still low key want the chaos of the. I mean, the later like envisioning somehow this LA first round matchup that we all want to get later, but yeah, I mean we'll have to see how things shape up these final few days here and see how this take form. But it's very exciting that we're kind of at the end of the year. I mean, and we have a lot of things that are pretty figured out, but a lot of movement that could still take place in these final few days here leading into Sunday before the play in early next week. So yeah,
It's
very intriguing final
annoying.
week of the regular season here for the NBA.
It's really
What's
annoying.
that?
Like I said, it's an exciting week. So many different permutations. All this can happen, and I can talk to myself like, oh, like some teams that aren't usually at the top or at the top between like Philly as the 1 seed and like the Suns,
Mm-hmm.
Jazz, and like you could be like, see, NBA has balance, and then it's just
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
Lakers Nets, and it's just gonna be like, okay,
yeah. I know the only hope I have is that yeah, I don't know. I think my official pick right now would be Clippers Nets, just because I think that if there's ever a year for them to kind of get through, it's just yeah, I don't know if LeBron's still banged up and like again he has to play in this play-in game and then yeah, I don't know. That's my I might give them the edge this year, but even then it's like that's still I think pretty chalky at this point.
that's the thing. Like, especially if they play the Heat, I mean, like, I feel like this is either the Bucks year to get it, or they're just gonna lose in the first round, and Bud's gonna get fired. Like,
Yeah, no,
there's no in between. Like, I don't see them like playing the Nets in the second round and forcing 7 and losing like the Raptors did. And losing
I
like the
can't wait till
Sixers
that
to the
happens.
Raptors. Like I don't see like that middle ground happening. I feel like it's either going to be a
All right, what's the date? I don't know. Watching
May 11th.
May 11th. We're gonna have to make a note of that if that exactly happens. We'll have to go back to the tape on that one. But yeah, again, very weird year for the. I don't know. It's funny because you just said it, Mike, and I think you kind of nailed it here. I'm setting myself up to get hurt. I'm telling myself that there's all this chaos that can happen, but it probably is going to be Brooklyn versus an LA team in the finals after all this. Even though we have teams that have home court advantage, and it should be the kind of one of the more chaotic years that we've seen, but it's probably just going to end up that way.
Yeah, I'm going to watch and I'm going to hope for it, but I'm not going to like expect like a
Milwaukee, Phoenix.
on the Sixers or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll just keep an eye on it. And I think, like I said, once the playing tournament gets done, again, I'm ready to move on to the first round. I think we're going to start to see, again, especially out west. I think we're going to see some good games, and then I think even when we get into the second round, there's potential for some really really good matchups there. So starting to get excited again. I think the hype kind of died out. Now we're getting into the final for both this and hockey, which we'll get to in about a minute here. I think now that we're finally everything's taking form and we're getting ready for playoffs, it's kind of coming back a little bit. So I'm excited. But yeah, so we'll obviously we'll check back in again. We should be able to have a show sometime on Sunday. It might be a little bit later on, but we should have a more concrete, if not a fully concrete, idea of what the NBA playoff picture is going to look like. And speaking of not having a concrete idea of things, let's hop over to the NHL because I texted you earlier, Mike. I'm like, I know we're talking later, but I'm so confused as to what's happening because of this weird like COVID situation and some divisions are done. I thought everything was still going on. It might spill into next week. And then I see the schedule alert that Bruins Capitals start Saturday. I'm like, when did everything get finalized? Because there are some divisions that are still kind of working through the seedings here.
Yeah, so it was pretty much going into yesterday's action, at least in the East Division, it would have needed the Islanders to beat the Bruins last night in regulation, and the Bruins to lose to the Capitals tonight. I mean, they already did. They lost 2-1.
Yes, they did, because they didn't. I don't think it was basically the Bruins were playing tonight, essentially, right?
I didn't watch a second of the game.
I think I saw like a like the EEI like article or something like Boston Bruins are playing tonight because I think they scratched like everybody.
Yeah, especially because long story short, the Bruins won in overtime last night, solidifying the 3 seed. So the Capitals were already they were able to tie the Penguins in points, who were out of playing games, but the Pittsburgh had the tiebreaker. So that was kind of already set. So after that overtime win, because it was also a national broadcast, they announced on the broadcast that we'd start on Saturday at 7. So I think they just want to get some games in the schedule for the playoffs, especially like the Eastern. Tonight's game was the last game for the division, so everyone's done there. So I think they just wanted to get some hockey and like some playoff hockey out there for divisions that were idle. So it wasn't a big layoff for them.
Yeah, and Mike, forgive me if I don't have this, but did they announce the time for Islanders Pittsburgh?
No, not yet.
Okay, so is there like could potentially just have one game on Saturday?
Well, there'll be a Canucks Oilers game, regular season.
A playoff game on. See, that's the thing too. I was like, the season's still going.
I'm assuming they'll probably schedule a game on Sunday afternoon, because right now the only game is Flames Canucks on Sunday at 10:30 p.m.
This is so strange. It's almost like when they used to have the opening games in Japan for baseball, and then there'd be spring training after it. It's kind of the vibes I'm getting with the playoffs and regular season happening.
Well, I guess I didn't think this through because let me take another look at the division. Yeah, like everyone, the 16 teams are clinched up, and it's just
it's all seeding at this point.
Yeah, like there's a couple games, so like the Central's done, the East's done.
Yeah, I have
I think like Colorado still has to make up like they're only at 54, so like the teams they played kind of was at 54, but they lost a couple games, so they're not as bad. But that Vancouver layoff was terrible, especially I think there was like a lot of Flames games. So like even though both these teams are limited, you gotta play out the string.
Just gonna ride it out.
You gotta play out the string for the playoff teams you do face, and then it's kind of nice that at the end where it's only I think after Saturday, because I said there's that game during the day. That's like Oilers are the only like probably the last playoff team to play a regular season game, and that's Saturday afternoon.
Okay, I just don't know why they're in a huge like I don't know. Maybe because it's a Saturday, you're gonna try to get some.
Yeah, it's NBC Prime
ratings. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, and the fact that like we're playing tonight, we don't give them like a week off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so like I believe the Western Conference is finishing on Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday is like the rest of like the North Nets are playing, and then the Canucks and Oilers. So I mean, the Oilers are kind of already locked into that 2 seed.
Yeah,
and then just like the Jets and Canadians are still kind of jockeying for 3-4.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to do a quick run through of everything here.
It's mostly going to be the Jets, but I think the thing like I was like, why don't you just cancel those meaningless Canucks Flames games, but draft. Forgot about that.
Yeah. So yeah, just wanted to quickly run through. Like I said, it's going to be Islanders, Pittsburgh, and Washington Bruins for the East. It's going to be Nashville, Carolina, and Tampa Bay, Florida in the Central. Like you were kind of saying before, Toronto locked in at the 1 seed for the North. Edmonton at the 2, just Winnipeg and Montreal figuring out 3-4. Then out west, St. Louis is going to be the 4, and then just kind of the Knights, Wild, and Avalanche figuring out 1 through 3. So that's kind of where we stand now. Like I said, you're kind of trying to wrap things up by Thursday, Friday, and then there is that regular season game on Saturday. But again, Edmonton kind of locked into the 2 there.
Yeah. So, and then even out in the West, I know I gave my long-winded answer for the North. I'd say the 3. The 3 is pretty much.
You say what?
I'd say the 3 is pretty much locked up to be the Wild. I mean, it would take a kind of
Yeah.
Avalanche to lose a lot of their games in the Wild to hold their
Yeah.
ground. But
No, I was just running through earlier and looking at games played and saw that that was still like I'm like, well, mathematically that
yeah,
seems
yeah,
like
it could
that's
happen.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, but yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And again, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a cool moment. It was like the last games for the Central Division last night, and it was a quote unquote meaningless like how the Bruins and Capitals played tonight. They did
Yeah.
the 2-3 was the Florida Tampa Bay game. There was
Mhm.
some feistiness in that game. There seemed to be some big hits because it seemed like the end of the roster guys trying to like make their case to make the roster,
Yeah.
but
Well, yeah.
not involved with that. There was a cool moment how the Tampa Bay started three black forwards.
Yeah, I did see that. Very,
So
very cool moment. It's not
wanted
something
to get
obviously.
it out.
Yeah, no, obviously I think it's a percentage that I mean, and we see it kind of going down in baseball, but it seems like it's going up in hockey, which is great to see, obviously. And obviously I didn't get a lot of the details on this as well, but no, thanks for pointing that moment out there. But also Ryan Miller had his last game last night, right?
Yeah, either that over the weekend, but he finished up.
Yeah, I saw like a lot of like clips from it at the beginning, or it might have even been yesterday. I would have saw clips, and obviously great, career for him. Had great moments for Team USA as their goalie there. So shout out to him there. And then also, again, it's been so long since we last recorded. How about that line brawl last week? Just have to quickly talk about that after the kind of craziness with the Rangers and Capitals. So great to just puck drop, just everyone puck drops, glove drops, and it was just crazy to see the start of, and everyone kind of laughed at the penalty box together.
Yeah, I know he alluded to Tom Wilson doing a thing, but that's kind of the nice thing about these 2 game sets in the hockey. Like I know he kind of
Mm-hmm.
referred to like, okay, you're pretty much going to go 1-1, but a moment like that in the first game can kind of keep you motivated to play the second game. So pretty
Yeah,
wild scene there.
absolutely.
Love to see it.
Absolutely. And we'll try to do, like I said, a preview. It's just weird because technically, like the Bruins season's ending tonight, and then I'm like, do we do a midweek one, almost like we did with the golf one, where we kind of did back to back? We might just do Sunday at this point because we'll only have maybe one playoff game down. We'll have the full picture then to kind of know how everything breaks down. So we'll again try to do a little bit more of a preview, maybe again over the weekend here. But again, we're in it. NBA's finishing up, NHL's finishing up. We're getting ready for the playoffs here. It should be a fun. Again, we're about on a month delay here from where we usually are on the sports calendar, but that just means more summertime hockey. Who doesn't look for that? But yeah, so we'll again we're getting towards the full picture here, and we'll have a lot more to say about that in the days and weeks to come. Now we'll hop over to baseball. I say this as they're losing 3-2 in the top of the ninth now, but Red Sox are the best team in the league. And I'm not even just saying that is a mathematical fact.
Yeah, if they do lose, they'll be tied with the team losing to Oakland.
Right now at 9:53 Eastern time on May 11th here. Best record.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't the best series against the Tigers. I mean,
no.
definitely.
But they bounced back with 3 out of 4 from the O's, which
Yeah,
again,
they pounded them. I forget it was either Friday or Saturday night. It was like they had like 9 runs, but like the 4th inning, it was
yeah.
It was amazing. And then even the fact that Kramer, I thought was going to stink.
Kramer, oh yeah, your guy, yeah.
Ended up his stats ended up pitching better than his stats showed him. So
Yeah.
the fact that they were able to win it multiple different ways, and then that was a weird game last night. Like Bogarts was playing volleyball with himself. So
was that a triple? They said it was like
Yeah.
the shortest recorded triple like ever, like distance wise off a hit.
Yeah, because everyone shifts nowadays, so it's
Stupid. It's so stupid. I mean, I'm not like an outlaw. I'm like, hey, if you want to do that, go ahead. Like, and again, I don't know if we've fully gotten into that debate, but I'm just like, hey, if you want to shoot yourself in the foot, fine. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but it's like, I just think it's so overly done. And I was telling you the other day, if I'm like, I would just work on, if I wasn't like a power hitter, I would just be like, work on bunting. I'd be like, fine, I'll take the left side of the infield, get a free hit. But yeah, I mean, kind of, and you mentioned too, going back to the Detroit series, obviously not great, but how about that wild matinee game they had last week where, again, should have been that close against the Tigers, but it did get crazy. And I think the game ended up being over 4 hours long, but they were able to lock up a victory there.
Yeah, the Tigers were booting balls left and right. I mean, the Red Sox
4 errors, I think.
Yeah, I think like it was like at the end of the game, it was like 27 hits combined with like 6 errors.
Yeah. it was not pretty. They got the win, and like I said, 3 out of 4 against Baltimore. So still sitting atop the AL East as it stands now. Again, in a tight game with the other division leader or another division leader in the A's, obviously leading out west. 3-2 ball game at the top of the ninth now.
Yeah, and back quick on the Sox, it's bullpen has looked a little shaky lately, but we do have to give the starters some credit. Seems like we put together after last year. Oof, we
Yeah.
put
Oh my
together a pretty
God. Yeah.
competent rotation. Like Eovaldi technically had like the highest ERA going tonight, but he went six innings, 1 run.
hmm
Red Sox are like 800 win percentage when Eddie pitches. And then Pavetta's
Yeah.
5-0. Richards has gone back on track.
Richards has bounced back for sure.
And then if
Yeah.
Perez is your worst starter, he was our best starter last year. So
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he went into the year as what, the number 2. I think like he pitched the second game of the
Yeah.
season last year, and then now he's like, yeah, you're 4, maybe 4, like 4 or 5 between him and Richards. So, yeah, I think that's more suited for Perez. That's where he belongs. He's a solid into the rotation guy. He should not be your number 2.
yeah,
But yeah, like you said, starters
his
have been showing
Achilles
up.
heel is just like that 1 inning where he throws a bunch of pitches. Like he had a short lease last night with only 74 pitches, but I guess you can say like all like the meat of the order was coming up with like Mancini and Mullins. So
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. So you said they have the A's this week, and then Angels over the weekend. So the AL West in town. See the top and bottom of the AL West, which is crazy to think about. The bottom for a team that has Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on it, but that's the Angels.
yeah, and they no longer have Albert Pujols.
Yes, exactly. That's good point. Again, we got to do these twice a week more often. But yeah, Albert Pujols, the legend, designated
through the cracks.
I know. Yeah. Designated for assignment last week. I don't know if that's it for him. No one's claimed him yet. Obviously, to this point, probably just I don't know. We'll see. I think
No.
I think he's worth a flyer for a certain team. There was a point where I wasn't hating it for the Red Sox, if we're gonna be honest.
Honestly, no. I saw this today that he's considering. Know what I don't hate?
What's that?
He said he might go play in the Olympics.
Ooh, okay.
If you're
Because
not,
baseball's back, yeah. Right?
if you're
If he's
not
not
on
on
a
MLS.
40-man roster, you're eligible to play. And because he was DFA'd, he is no longer on a 40-man roster.
Playing for he's
And then-
Dominican, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
if he's not going to get like, because it seems like it ended pretty bad there because like he
Mhm.
couldn't DH because like I mean you have Ohtani, you got to keep him in the DH spot, and they have like Jared Walsh coming up at first base. He's a pretty good prospect too. Who's been
Yeah.
at least the
Don't
first
wanna block him, obviously.
tearing
Yeah.
the cover off the ball, and Pujols was like, I want to play every day. He's like kind of proud, but also he wasn't that good. So it seems like I don't think he's going to go somewhere just to be a
To platoon.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like
fair
I guess
enough.
like I mean the only 2 places I can maybe see are the White Sox because of La
I was
Russa.
just gonna say the La Russa connection there, yeah.
Yeah, that's like because even like
And Abreu does play first, so he wouldn't really cut into that.
yeah, and the fact that between Jimenez and now Luis Robert, they've lost 2
The
big guys
injuries. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
extended time. So I think Robert was mainly their DH. So the fact that they have a space of DH, so
That might be the only spot.
yeah, because I doubt he's going like in St. Louis. It might have to be like a 1-day thing because like they
Well,
have,
that I think will happen regardless, but
I mean, Goldschmidt at first. I mean, he's not the same Paul Goldschmidt in 2017, but still.
no, I think that'd be like an off-season, like
Yeah.
1-day contract, immediate retirement type thing. But yeah, good call out on that. But yeah, kind of just going around the rest of the AL there. We're getting a little no hitter fatigue here. We'll get to the second one in a second, but with John Means, proud member of the Sound Machine, who just got into a tie for first place, no big deal in fantasy baseball here, but he really helped the ERA there with that 9-inning no hitter performance. So I think first O's no hitters is 91, if I'm not mistaken. Long
I
time.
think that was a combined one.
Oh, so okay, that makes sense because I thought I saw conflicting things. That one said like the 60s, but
Oh, yeah,
that makes
since one guy went start to finish.
one person. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, shout out to John Means there. Yankees, I think
Also,
they're back.
we pitched again tonight. Six innings. Has a nice 1.21 ERA.
Solid. Yeah, that was a great pickup early in the season. Didn't I? He went undrafted, picked him up after he dominated the Red Sox. Essentially, I picked him right up. Haven't looked back since. But yeah, as I was saying, Yankees, they're looking like they're back, which is a little scary. Stanton's been on fire, huh?
Yeah, just absolutely mashing home runs. And then Chapman, I think he like strikes out like 62%
Oh,
of batters he places.
he's been lights out.
Well, he's in right now with tying around the plate, but I
Yeah.
will end up getting that out, getting the win down the trop.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately they're coming out yeah, up under the Red Sox. Uh White Sox with a slight lead over Cleveland in the Central, so that could be a potential tight race as we get down here. I mentioned the A's obviously leading out west. Hopping over the NL, we had again 2 no-hitters last week. One of all people, Wade Miley, tossing a no-hitter this weekend.
I think especially down in Boston, once we saw Wade Miley throw no hitter, it's like, has it lost its luster?
Yeah, 2 in the same week. We've had what, 4 already this year? I think?
Yeah, and then technically, if you include Mad Bum, 5.
Four and a half.
Yeah.
4 point whatever, like 7 whatever.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
I wasn't like, I don't remember the box score of the first one, Musgrove, but like, I guess like the Rodon one and Means, like I kind of hold like, okay, that's a legit no hitter because Rodon literally plunked someone in the foot in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And Means
And the Means was the drop third strike, right?
Like, yeah, didn't actually walk or give up a hit. So like those ones, like, okay, those are legit, but like Wade Miley, like, come on.
What was his?
I don't know, but I think like the funniest part of that game was that it was like 0-0 going into the 9th inning.
Oh God! Well, nothing like we know nothing will ever beat the legendary Edwin Jackson no hitter. That might be like one of my favorite no hitters of all time. The 8 walks, he threw like 150 pitches. That was fantastic. That's one of those like technically, yeah, I guess, yeah, no hitter. So that's funny.
I guess no, you only had 1 walk.
Okay, so yeah, give
was
the Ace some credit there.
He had 8 strikeouts. I thought it was 8 walks.
Oh, he thought he repeated the Edwin Jackson. Okay. Quick update here, Mike. 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Verdugo on first with JD up at the plate. So Sox trying to get a little comeback here, maybe tie it up, maybe walk off. So I'll be kind of tracking this one for everyone here. Well, this will be obviously delayed once this gets up, but kind of getting some live reactions. Do you have it on, Mike, or no? I can't remember.
Well, it was because I would try to cast it to my TV in my room, and it would just give me like this like weird like you're playing on a receiver. Like it happens to me sometimes when I try to watch a movie. Like it'll cast like it'll change from like the screen to like just a blue square in the middle. It's very annoying.
Yeah, look like the smart TV.
Just giving that same thing, but so and I try to
so no was the answer.
So then I tried to cast from my desktop and it wasn't working. So the fact that it's the 9th inning, I'm pulling it up on my phone on the side.
Okay, I was gonna say I could give you a play-by-play here. JD's he's gotten kind of squeezed, or not? Well, I got squeezed on one, and then I think he thought he was gonna get squeezed, so swung another one. So we got 1-2 count.
Deep in some stuff.
Yeah. Also in the NL, as we kind of have our eye on this game as well. I know like the first few times we spoke, Mike, the East was struggling to get some teams over 500. They've done that. The Mets have won 5 in a row actually, as they sit atop the standings there out in the NL East. And then
they're falling victim to John Means right now, so I think it's 2-1.
But I mean, who doesn't fall victim to John Means?
Yeah, it's good to see the Mets won 5 in a row. But I mean, he did make a start in there, but DeGrom got pushed back all the way from like Tuesday to Sunday, and now he's hopping on the IL. It seems like a little precautionary. Like I think it might just be like the fact, like, okay, they just want to skip his next start, but you can. That's a good thing about the 10-day IL is that like compared to the old 15, it's like okay, if you want to skip a start, that's like, okay, just hop in the IL.
You could the retroactive. Oh man, yeah. Deekman really worked JD on that count. Really painted the corners there. So now
I just saw that.
1 out. Yeah, 1 out here. So. But yeah, then kind of hopping around, like you said, this crazy Braves Philly game. What night was that again?
Was it Saturday? Because
it was Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, because I was watching like like TV movies with the girlfriend, and she was over, and she went to bed a little earlier. I did around like 11, and I was pretty excited to watch I was excited to watch the Freeway series because I was like just getting going at the 9 o'clock first pitch, and then right before that happened, the Dodgers scored 8 runs. So I like looked across the league, and like on Saturday nights, like the games start earlier. So like the latest first pitch was 9. So I felt like they're all like kind of blowouts, and I was like, oh, 3-1 in the ninth, but it was already 2 outs. So I decided not to watch this game, and then I started playing video games. Woke up the next morning, found out that there was a walk with 2 outs, and then the next Matt Stairs is now Pablo Sandoval. He had a pinch hit home run to tie the game.
What an analogy, Matt Stairs. Yeah.
And then it ended up going back and forth. I think a lot of zeros. It was like, I think like the 12th went 1-1 and went all the way to the 14th inning where the Braves hopped off. I mean, the Phillies hopped in the top of the half and scored 3 runs. And then the Braves went off in the bottom half, scored 4 runs without giving a single out, and then walking off 8-7. So it just seemed like the game was very drunk. And I'm sorry. I'm happy. I'm pissed I missed it because I literally was like an inch away from
that hate when you think about watching something and you don't and it ends up being good. Yeah.
If I checked 5 minutes later, I'd be like, okay, it's no outs.
Tied. Yeah. Or
if I checked 5 minutes after, I'm like, oh, tied. Oh.
Right. Exactly. Oh yeah. After exactly. But yeah. So finally getting some decent baseball out of the NL East.
Yeah, the Braves are losing. They kept on keep on getting to 500 and like losing 3 in a row.
Yeah.
They're battling back to 500 and losing 3 in a row.
Then we got the Cards leading the Central. But teams are hanging around. You know, again, I think Milwaukee, and then even the middle. It doesn't look like, again, it's so early, so stuff to like fully dive into these standings. But there's teams hanging around there behind the Cards.
Yeah, the Cubs definitely had a big sweep of the Dodgers last week.
Yeah,
and the Reds, of course, winning with the Wade Miley game, and they put up 14 runs against the Pirates last night. Though I think they're going to lose them tonight. So. Just kind of like a lot of the teams beating up on each other at the bottom.
Yeah. And then kind of hopping out the NL West quick. I mean, as you mentioned, that the Dodgers are struggling. It's up 2-8 in the last 10. Now in third place technically in the NL West as it stands now.
Yeah, they've had an injury bug on the rotation with Price is on the IL. Even like Gonsolin missed some starts, and then the big news was Dustin May having to get TJ out there.
Yeah. So. Yeah. 3-1 count with Xander. Sorry, I'm hopping in and out of this game here. Ooh, good take. So Xander will now walk. So first and second with 1 out. Rafi coming up to the dish here. And then kind of wrapping up the NL West. This came out today. Tatis Jr. has COVID, huh? So obviously not an ideal situation for the Padres and for fans of Fernando Tatis Jr., but I'm sure he'll bounce back just fine. And then the Giants, again, I know I kind of gave them a little bit of a shout out last week. Like it's early, but a week later, they're still holding on the ground, the NL West. So very interesting 3-team race out there. Again, you have to imagine the Dodgers will come back and at the end of the day claim that title. But as it stands now, pretty competitive out there in the West.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants even winning games because like they just had a quick 2-gamer with the Rangers, who apparently are good. They were already 500. Like, I mean. Everyone thought they'd be bad, but they ended up got a little hot, and they just swept them 2 straight games pretty easily. So guys love seeing the Giants, and also I've missed on a couple notes. One's actually related to the Giants, so it's a good segue. Drew Robinson got his first hit in his AAA game in the Giants system. Are you aware of his story?
Yeah, he attempted suicide. Right?
Yeah, somehow survived. Great article by Passon on ESPN. I would definitely recommend reading it. So
yeah, and he's back. So yeah, great story there, and obviously, yeah, just definitely rooting for him and everything. And then did you say you had another note there, Mike?
Yeah, going back to the AL West, top number 3 prospect and the big piece in the Cano Dias trades, Jarred Kelenic getting called up on Thursday.
Yes.
So I think that these guys already hate each other because just service time, just a little bull. To be pretty candid about it. So that's kind of the big story in the ALS also with the Oakland A's maybe moving too.
That's true, actually. Yeah, good point that kind of came up today. And I mean, I don't know. It just seems like, I wanted to stay in Oakland, but I mean, they pretty much said we can't keep playing in this stadium. We just can't do it. So it's funny that I could ever dump on any stadium with Fenway being almost 110 years old now. But come on, let's clean it up. Oh, Rafi just swung at some junk in the dirt. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I'd like to see him stay in Oakland, especially if they just lost the Raiders. But hey, if they can't figure something out, why not go join them again? Get some Vegas A's going on.
Yeah. I wonder how that's gonna work out because it stinks. Like I can hear Nashville and Memphis are dying for a team, but they're
gonna expand, right? I feel like they're gonna add 2 teams at some point.
Yeah.
So I think you could.
I think I would try my hardest to keep him in there. Oh,
So we have. I don't know if you're caught up here, but we just
first
had
and
a
third, yeah.
fielder's choice. I think Elvis Andrus was trying to argue for Xander interfering at second base. I think like he was mostly kidding, but
It's very weird
so
to see
yeah,
him in East Jersey after seeing him in Texas for so long.
Texas for so long. But yeah, kind of going back to the MLB point. I mean, yeah, I would almost. I think the ideal world for me. I saw someone kind of painted out this way. It's like if like say the A's move to Vegas, let's move the Rays to Nashville, and then these two expansion teams be Montreal and Portland. I think that.
Okay, that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. So well, I guess it's funny because I mean I always look at like kind of the big, switching back to the Sox game real quick here. I always think of the big boppers in the lineup, and I'm like, well, now it's Vasquez who does seem to be have a flair for the dramatic sometimes here. So he's up now with runners in the corners. So yeah, we'll see what happens to the A's obviously long term. But yeah, just kind of getting into some final notes here before we wrap up, and obviously still have our eye on this Sox game here. This whole Medina Spirit Bob Baffert situation that's been a little bit crazy, the whole doping scandal, and I don't even know where it left off right now, but Baffert's had some kind of interesting quotes with this whole process here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you try to turn a blind eye. It's an exciting 2 minutes to watch, like doing the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Did something happen?
That'll do it.
Yep. Oh,
P3. Sox tried, but again, final Oakland 3-2 there. But anyway, getting back to this, yes, this Baffert story.
Yeah, so you try to turn a blind eye with how bad horse racing is, and just some of these quotes by Baffert are like, holy crap. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't even think I saw any specifically. It just seems like he's like going on these shows playing the victim of this whole thing. And yeah, I don't know. And he looks like, what's that? The Ashley Schaefer.
Ashley Schaefer BMW.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clones.
From Eastbound and Down. So just kind of hard to take him seriously, already looking like that. And yeah, now this whole thing. But then also the horse might race the Preakness this weekend. Like, I don't even.
It is.
Okay. Just it has to like pass these tests beforehand.
I don't know. It just seems like.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of been the big news of the week. Yeah, obviously the doping scandal in horse racing here. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a funny thing to point out. NFL schedule is going to get released tomorrow, Mike. So NFL they have an event every month. It's like I think that's they always started planning out this way. There's something going on in the league every month. Tomorrow's the schedule release. I think I saw the only leak I saw so far was I think it's going to be Rams Bears week 1.
Yeah, and did you see they get rid
of
the week 1 Monday night doubleheader?
What? Oh God, Dad is going to be furious.
Yeah, I think it's because
they're favorite night of the year.
I think it's because they're going to add like just money wise, like they're going to give like a doubleheader. Like I think like on like the Saturday of week 18 now. There's something with week 18 is causing this to be messed up.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to check on Dad. He's not gonna be okay after this.
We'll wait for it to come out tomorrow. I mean,
yeah, well,
more and more rumors are kind of seem like they're confirming the Bucks Pats on Thanksgiving.
But why? It's just like I don't know. That night I'm like it's usually some like Ravens Steelers game that isn't even as good as it should be, and like then I just watch. Yeah, then I want to watch like my first like Christmas movie or something like that. I don't know. Just like give me that on a Sunday afternoon at 4:30.
Like you've gone past your hungover, you have your food coma now.
I've just watched the Lions and Cowboys. Like I'm good for the night.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm gonna watch it obviously, but it's just I'd rather save it for a random Sunday in like November, or even December. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe like lines up with like a holiday weekend, like
yeah.
October, November. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd much rather that. But we'll obviously see the official news tomorrow. We can discuss over the weekend. Few fighting notes here. I saw that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, they seem like they're going to have a card. I think it's either the 7th or the 14th of August. But that's one that I'm really excited about that because I'm ready to get a good boxing match on the books. One of the last things we did before the pandemic last year, Mike, was watch the Fury Wilder fight, and he's obviously entertaining as all hell. Big fan of his younger brother, obviously from Love Island fame, but I want to see those two go at it in August. I think that should be fun.
Well, that's the thing. I wish now I feel like Fury's gonna be in my head. I'm like, do I bet on them now? And then like Joshua will beat them, then like it's gonna be like a chain effect of like the three of them just fighting each other. I'm gonna be wrong on all of them.
Right,
Because I
exactly,
was wrong on
exactly.
the first one I did.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, that should be good. I was excited to see that news. You also have Canelo on this weekend. Again, I'm not as big of a UFC guys
No,
boxing,
no, he's
but
an actual boxer.
that's what's that?
He's a
Canelo?
boxer.
How did I not? Did a lot of names run together for me? That's my bad. Because I just feel like every time like a big like I don't know. I thought was there something from UFC this weekend too? I don't know if I ran them together,
Maybe
but
I don't know. It seems
yeah.
like the main event in Dallas because of course
Who
like
do I get? I think for some reason Triple G. I think I get like the two of them confused. I don't know why.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah, he just very good. I tried to watch it because recurring guest Dave had a DAZN account, but there's a
yeah. And
user
who do you fight again?
like Billy, not Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, but something like that.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's the. I feel like for me, and it's tough, obviously, with because
I,
it's already tough enough with everything
I
being
didn't
pay
know
per
it was
view
happening. Well, like I opened up Twitter and some
yeah,
people talking about it, and Dave
yeah,
texted, it's like, hey, like if someone else wants it, there's an extra user, but a buddy
yeah.
of mine swooped in and took it. So
No, it's almost tough because of the whole pay per view or these like different usernames and everything. It's like it's almost like you need two big names to really to draw in a fight. So it's a little bit I think tougher
yeah, that's what
once. Yeah.
I was like, I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna like illegally stream it. So like once that
Right. Like I'll pay. I'll throw the money down for
other for a
for
Canelo fight, 'cause
Fury
like I said,
Joshua.
it was Saturday night and I had nothing to do.
Right.
I
I
thought
forgot. I should have known that too because he signed that huge deal with them, right? Like
DAZN.
last year or something, or 2 years ago, the zone. Yeah. So,
Well, I think
um,
the trajectory.
end of the podcast. My brain's just not
I
fully
think the
functioning
trajectory
anymore.
that's good for like the Wilder, Fury, Joshua, like those three seems like they're in with ESPN Plus, and I feel like
Yeah.
that was just nice. We went to my buddies that just had ESPN Plus. It's like okay, cool.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Again, brain turning into mush at the end of the podcast here. But anyway, I had one final note here. Some sad news that came through Twitter today that a legend of the college football game from the mid to late aughts, I'd say. Colt Brennan, who I think either might steal or at one point held some records in college football. Absolutely electrifying player. Put University of Hawaii football on the map, and just did fantastic things up there. Colt Brennan sadly passed away at age 37 today. And what else can I say? Way too young and an absolute bummer from a guy that I remember watching in what is that, late middle school for me, and just an absolute college football legend.
Yeah, it was kind of wild, just being like, oh, like being like 11 years old, being like, oh, there's just this guy putting up absolute numbers after you go to bed on Saturday night because they just be playing those like midnight games in Hawaii.
Yeah, yeah.
The next thing you know, it's like, wait, Hawaii's ranked, and they end up playing in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
The game did not go. That was blowout.
No, but I mean, yeah. But I mean, hey, he got them there. I mean, who else is going to bring Hawaii to the Sugar Bowl? I mean,
no, exactly.
Just,
That's what I'm saying. It talks to him. He was on the NCAA cover the year after, if I remember right.
I think so. One of those years, yeah, because he had two good. He was good at because I saw like I was like they were talking about the like obviously it was on the bottom line of ESPN. Like there's third in the Heisman one year and he was sixth in it the other year. So it's like they had two dominant years.
Yeah, so just a very sad moment. So
yeah, absolute legend. God R.I.P. Colt Brennan, but again, that he surely won't be forgotten. But yeah, just obviously really really sad news today. But
I wish there was a reason for us to be talking about Colt Brennan on a.
I know. I was like hoping he would be be coaching or something, like getting a broadcast job. Like that'd be awesome. But yeah, obviously just gone way too early here at age 37. But yeah, I think that'll pretty much do it for today. Again, had to do some catch up after being gone for about a week or so here. But yeah, we're getting into the swing of things with some playoffs. We have some meaningful games coming up soon, and it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Got NHL starting on Saturday. Oh, that's definitely why Preakness Saturday.
So you just want to do like a double dip?
It'll
why is it not till 7? Is that what you're saying?
It's a 7:15 on NBC, so the coverage is just going to go directly.
It's not going to start. It's not going to start at 7:15 on NBC. There's no way. I feel like this happened last year or like a couple of years ago or something. It's similar situation with like a Bruins playoff game. And it was after the photo finish. Maybe that's why I'm a little scored. Remember that the photo finish in the Kentucky Derby, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's like we had to watch it for like 30 minutes of the Bruins game. I think. Yeah, I just feel like those things start at like 6:53 now, and it's just by the time you
I think
get
it's
all the.
if I remember right, I think the Derby is always the latest. I think like
Those could
I
typically
think
be a
it's like
little
six
closer
fifty
to six
seven is the
thirty.
Derby, and then like
Okay.
6:47 will be the Preakness, and then the Belmont will be like 6:30.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why like
But
they'll start the hockey that way. So
yeah,
anyway, over the course of the weekend, we'll have the start of the hockey and the regular season,
like two of the Triple Crown.
and then it'll be
But yeah,
football will be rolling after that because then the NBA playoffs will start. We have the PGA Championship next weekend.
mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, that's like 10 days or whatever, like 11 days from now.
Yeah,
Would be the Saturday. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So then that's good. And then kind of once we get, and then we have all these playoffs from month to month, and then once that wraps up, we're into the dog days for baseball. We got football coming up again. That's a project way too far in the future, but we'll have a lot of content. I think a lot of stuff to talk about for the coming months here. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we should be back on Sunday and try to get an NHL preview. We'll have a little bit of a preview for the play-in tournament, and we'll kind of just get into it from there.
good night, everyone.